during a call with nearly 100 players Friday night. On the 90-minute call, Irving reportedly made the case that resuming the season would be detrimental to the players' work on social justice and police reform. Dwight Howard agrees. In a statement to CNN, he said in part, "I agree with Kyrie. Basketball or entertainment period isn't needed at this moment and will only be a distraction. Sure, it might not distract us, the players, but we have resources at hand the majority of our community don't have. And the smallest distraction for them can start a trickle-down effect that may never stop. Especially with the way the climate is now, I would love nothing more than to win my very first NBA championship, but the unity of my people would be an even bigger championship that's just too beautiful to pass up." Steven Jackson, meanwhile, offered these thoughts.
Playing basketball is going to do one thing: take all the attention off the task at hand right now and what we fighting for. Everybody's going to be worrying about the playoffs. They're going to have all that blasted all over the TV, and nobody's going to be talking about getting justice for all these senseless murders by the police, and nobody's going to be focusing on the task at hand, bro. None of these white owners have spoken up. None of them are taking a stand. Yeah, they might post a video when the season starts or saying what we should do, but they ain't doing nothing. Playing basketball ain't going to do nothing but make them money and take the attention of what we fighting for, what we marching for. It's bigger than all of us, and it's bigger than the game, and it's sad that we still got to explain that to people, bro.
Patrick Beverley of the Clippers sees it differently. He tweeted, "Hoopers, say what you want. If King James says he's hooping, we're all hooping, not personal-only business. Hashtag stay woke." Adrian Wojnarowski has a lengthy piece on ESPN.com with the very latest on this. He joined us earlier this morning.
You know, the players have taken this weekend to talk about how they can use that platform that is going to be available to the league with the restart, with the eyes of the world through television, and using that to continue the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, our sense is that most players want to play, want to resume the season, but certainly an overwhelming amount want to make sure that the league, the Players Association work together to further this cause.
Jay Will is back with us this morning, and Stephen A. Smith has returned from a little time off. And Steve, it's great to see you. I will start with you. What is your reaction to what Kyrie and Dwight Howard and several other NBA players have said, suggesting that they should not return and resume the season?
I completely disagree with them, and I think they sound foolish. Let's get this out of the way right now. I've been waiting to talk about this, and I can't wait to get into this more heavily on First Take. I respect the fact that obviously everything's going on. You can't be a black man and not respect what we're seeing, particularly from these young warriors out here taking to the streets and making sure that they do everything that they can to raise awareness to what's going on and bring attention to it. But the real work is going to be done by other people within the legal profession and beyond after the awareness is brought to their attention and you buffer them with the level of support monetarily and otherwise that they may require. You're Kyrie Irving and you're Dwight Howard. If you are talking about not going back to work because of the coronavirus, nothing to talk about. Everybody has the right to feel the way that they feel in terms of their own individual health, the health of their loved ones, who they're going to be near, all of that stuff. That is a separate subject. But to sit up there and imply that at this particular moment in time that sports should not exist and we shouldn't be going back to work because of racial inequality, prejudice, police brutality, et cetera, these are things that have been going on for decades, if not more. Some would say centuries, obviously, when we're talking about racial oppression. So if that's the case, then there was no reason for anybody, whether it's your forefathers, your ancestors, or anybody in between, to ever show up to work. The reality is that you have a job to do. If you're Kyrie Irving, you're hurt, you're sitting out anyway in all likelihood. You're Dwight Howard, you want to pass up the opportunity to win a championship for the first time because you want to bring attention and awareness to this? Fine. I don't recall Adam Silver, the commissioner of the National Basketball Association, or anybody in the world of sports at this particular moment in time prohibiting or trying to deny or stop players from putting forth their due diligence to bring attention to the issues that have ravaged our society and has been ravaging our society. So to use that as an excuse not to show up to work, and I don't mean excuse as if they're looking for an excuse. I'm sure that their feelings are sincere and heartfelt. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is That's no reason not to show up to work. The fact that racial oppression has existed, it's going to exist after this summer. It's going to exist next year. It's going to exist a year after, a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Anybody in our society that thinks this thing is going to be completely eradicated is fooling themselves. You're always going to have to deal with these things. So that is not an excuse not to show up to work, to do your job. You can fight the fight while still showing up to work. And that's why I think that Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard are a bit ill-informed here, not to mention the fact that if you don't show back up to work, excuse me, you're not just losing money. The owners are going to lose money. As a result, collective bargaining talks are going to reopen. And the money that they lost and the money that they're going to project to have lost and will continue to lose is going to come into the equation, which means it's going to have a residual impact, not just on the players, but all the hundreds of thousands of employees that the leagues themselves employ, assuming all the leagues took a similar position to what Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard are proclaiming should be taken. So I think it's just ill-advised for them to say what they're saying. I think they need to do a better job of doing more homework and make sure their position is tightened before they utter such things, because I don't think it makes any sense to take the position that they took.